G'day and welcome to another episode. My name is Daethstro, the Aussie Geek, and today we are looking at the Legacy United Tasmania Kid. Now, I will start off by saying two things. One, this guy was a complete impulse buy. Two, I have never watched Beast Wars 2. I knew of characters from Beast Wars 2, mainly Leo Convoy, and of course, eventually learning about Magmatron from this line as well. So I never watched Beast Wars 2. I didn't watch Beast Wars Neo. They were Japanese exclusives. But I thought to myself, you know what? I've got Aussie. I've got Outback. So let's add another Aussie to the collection, and we'll add Tasmania Kid. I don't live in Tasmania, but hey, we're all Aussies, so all need to be supported. So he does look good. He is a core class figure. He's actually, initially he was smaller than I expected, but then I'm like, he's core class, of course. But at the same time now, he feels like he's actually bigger than I expected. He does look good. I will admit I do have this seam because it doesn't want to tab in that side. I don't know why. I might have to have a look at the joint there eventually and just see, but honestly, it doesn't bother me too much. So for those of you who don't know, he's a Tasmanian Devil, which I thought was pretty awesome. Like, they could have gone with Tasmanian Tiger, but Tasmanian Devil's pretty good, especially since Looney Tunes made Tazzi Devils so much more popular. I did look him up after getting him, and he does seem like a bit of a, how do you put it? He's sort of full of himself. So, yeah, an interesting characterization. He does come in robot mode, but I have him in beast mode because, honestly, I actually prefer to keep him in beast mode because I think the animal looks pretty cool, all things considered. So there we go. He does have one... to me, he has one issue, not really a huge issue, but an issue just annoys me a little bit. But I'll get to that when we get to it. So he does look good. So, yeah. He does have a little bit of articulation in this mode. He can open his mouth up way, 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 way wide. Which, of course, you only want to open a little bit. Otherwise, you're going to break the sculpt. The front legs do a full 360. The head doesn't move, and if it did, all this would just start breaking the seams. You do get front and back and twist due to the fact these are the robot arms. You do get a ankle tilt due to them being the robot hands, and of course you can go down if that's something you would do. Unfortunately, because of the way this is tabbed in, you have no hip movement, so you can give him some interesting poses. And you can, I haven't tried this yet, but you can, if I don't untab everything, you can give him good Tasmania Kid boy mode. So there we go. Tail doesn't move anywhere, plus where it hinges in here, it does sort of limit it. You get a little bit of a twist, but not much. And of course, the handle there is not going anywhere. So there we go. So let's do a little size comparison in this mode. I do have a couple of surprises, which I haven't actually ever shown on the channel yet. But we do have Windblade. So there he is compared to Windblade. Here he is with G1 Rat Trap. I'm not going to call it Beast Wars Rat Trap. I'm going to call him G1 Rat Trap because as far as I'm concerned, Beast Wars is still G1. They're the original toy line, so I'm going to call this G1 Rat Trap. As well as G1 Quick Strike. This guy was the last Transformer I bought before I decided I wasn't buying Transformers anymore. That lasted probably about a decade or less, and look at me now. So there we go. All right, so as for transformation, you want to untab the gun, and I find it easier to pull down than pull out. Surprisingly, this is actually pretty, I wouldn't say intricate, but it's got a nice fiddle factor to it. So fold up his arms. Oh, sorry, my nose is itchy and it's cold. You're going to sort of fold in these pieces here. So it untabs these. You want to rotate the sides up, like so, and that reveals all this. We want to lift up the skull cap and bring it back just a little bit. What we're going to do is we're going to try and get these out. So we're going to split the head in half. You're going to bring this out this side and this out this side. And we're going to fold the head down till it's in its place. Bring this up. And it is a little bit awkward, but you're going to sort of, how do you put it? We rotate the leg down first so we get a little bit more clearance on both sides. You're possibly going to pop that ball joint, so just be aware. These are going to swing up, and there is a tabbing point. I'm just not quite sure where it is. I think it's this piece here, and it sort of tabs in here somewhere, so just bring that up. You might have to rotate the shoulder a little bit. Bring that all the way up. Yeah, so it's this tab here will go into, try that again, come on, light. It'll go into this groove here next to the screw, like so. And then we can try to do that on the other side, making sure that tab's not staying tabbed in, and bring that up and lock that in place. All right, we can bring the legs down like so. We don't need the torch no more. We're going to flatten that out if it hasn't already. So there is a tab here that's going to go into this port. But before you fully tab it in, fold this piece down. And that's just going to go in between. Then tab it in. If it wants to tab in. Because otherwise you're going to have that big old piece there. There we go. All right, so we can rotate his head. Make sure those backpack pieces are pushed back as far as possible. We want to rotate our hands and bring them down if we haven't already. So this is the outer elbow. And then what we want to do is flip up the heads. And then come under here and flip out the jaws. And it'll sort of lock into place. And there's your heel spurs. So there he is. My joints are very tight because I've only had him for the last few days. So there we go. And of course we can arm him up. I'm not 100% sure of what the traditional armament is, but the box and stuff is, I've seen these ports on the side. So let me know, for those of you who have watched Beast Wars 2, if this is his legitimate weapon storage in bot mode. So there he is, all transformed, and he's nice and fiddly in a good way, unlike a lot of my other figures that are very fiddly to transform. Beg my pardon. So yeah, he does look good. You know, always find this interesting in Beast Wars figures because of Rhinox. Beg my pardon, those blue eyes do look really nice. He is a bit of a darker brown than what seems to be coming off my phone. And from the pictures and stuff I've seen, that's a proper backpack. That should be there. Something like going, oh, that shouldn't be there. It seems to be, from what I've seen of the Japanese Transformers, their kibble's part of their transformation. They didn't do what the G1 cartoon did, where they hide aspects. You know, parts of the transformation disappear, so it smooths out, like Sunstreak or Sideswipe. You know, if it's got panels, the figure has panels. So there we go. So he does have articulation. Your head does go full 360. You can use that transformation joint to make him look up if you want, but he doesn't really look down. Arms can do a full 360, but you're going to have to angle them to get past that backpack. This is my problem, is his biceps. So if you want to use the biceps, you have to rotate it like this, and then of course you rotate the hand. Fine. So that way you've now got your elbow joint. So elbow goes that far. Also, shoulder goes that far. We do get our bicep rotation. We get our wrist rotation because of the ball there, and of course we can go up if we really need it. No fingers, no thumb. But if you have a look over this side where we put the gun, if you want to use the ball joint with that in place, you literally have to let the gun swing underneath his hand. So maybe that is a traditional looking his weapon storage. Once again, let me know if that is the case. But I would have liked, although I don't know how well it would have gone, is if either A, put the port over here, or make it so that somehow the ball joint still worked here. That way you still had your Megatron slash gun mode. So it does look fine there if you want it like that. And you can even rotate the wrist up that way. But it just means you're completely losing the ball joint in his elbow. And of course, you can take his gun, and I'm doing articulation and I'm getting sort of all over the place, so I apologize. You can put his gun. Oh, no, you can't. I admit I've not tried it till now, but you cannot put the gun in that port, but I'm assuming you can do that, which still looks really, 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 really peculiar. So it looks wonky if you go to hit somebody with it. So it does look better if the gun's on the outside port, but if you want to bend his elbow, it doesn't work, basically. All right, back to articulation. So legs go out that far, legs go up that far, and back that far until you hit and kibble. You have, not the John one, a little bit of hip rotation. You have knee rotation. Knee gets that far. You have no ankle. Oh, hang on. Oh, yeah, there's a ball joint there. So you do get a little bit of ankle tilt, but I wouldn't put it too much stress on it because I don't know if it'll pop part of that head off. Foot goes all the way back. It does go up a little bit more. Ankle, of course, goes down and up however you want. So there we go. And he's not too bad when it comes to his backpack. Those you could probably get away with leaving them in place, but the heel spurs are indeed very, very helpful. So there he is. All right, so size comparisons. Here he is with MP10, which as you can see, he basically comes up to Prime's knees. Here he is with Quick Strike. So Quick Strike's probably a little bit taller than he is. And this is going to be awkward. I'm going to have to use something to actually help him stand up. I might try my screwdriver because Rat Trap's feet need to be a bit bigger, honestly, to help with that backpack. So, unless I get really lucky. Flip over a little bit more. Can he really stand? Nope. He keeps wanting to lean back. Come on. All right, bugger. I'll just hold him. So there he is with Rat Trap. And honestly, this transformation does remind me a lot of Rat Trap. If you want me to do a review on this guy and Quick Strike, let me know in the comments. I'm not quite sure where this guy's gun is, so that will be one thing that I probably won't be able to do. Anywho, so let's get this guy back into Tasmanian Devil mode, because that is going to be how he stays. So we're going to take that gun off and put that to the side. And we're going to start by folding up his heels. We're going to bring these around for a moment. We're going to pop this back and lift this up to give it clearance. We can then rotate the head. All right, so we're going to bring the legs down so you've got hopefully enough clearance to get past here. It would be nice if this swung up a little bit more, but it is what it is. So bring that back the best you can. I'm just going to rotate the arms so they stay out. So bring that back. It won't sit all the way back, but hopefully it'll be enough to get, there we go, to get out of the way of the legs. So we're going to rotate this, we're going to move this up into this groove here, which I thought was actually pretty impressive. So you just want to rotate your legs just enough that your thigh's going to get up into here, and we can bring the head forward. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Bring that up, bring that over, and then we can tab the heads together, like so. Now, you will want to try to push this down here. That's not where it goes. That's too low. It should actually angle up. So if you have your leg, so this slides up and then straightens out, you've got it right. So then we can just press the backpack down and we can bring the head down. And if it's not lining up, as you can see, it's not lining up, it needs to get pushed up a little bit further. And if that's not quite lining up, you need to get this tab here into this port. I'm going to have to rotate those arms a bit. There we go. So that's basically the proper orientation anyway. This is going to go over his hip joint. So fold that down. You might have to get around things. Also, this piece here is the same on here. Needs to go behind the head. So you might have to lift and tuck. So down, lift and tuck. If that's tabbed in properly, then the head should just give it a bit of a push, line up. Like I said, mine's got a seam, but I'm not too worried. Like so. All right, so then you have these ports back here, which are going to go into these grooves here, which are basically creating his butt cheeks. So then we can angle the arms a little bit. We want to rotate the hands and bring them up. So that creates our hind legs. Pull the arms forward. And if you haven't already, I've done it inadvertently. Just push the head up into the neck gap. And then we just have the weapon. Like I said, you can push it in this way, but I find it's more awkward. So just come from underneath, line up these. If I can focus. Line up these grooves to these grooves, like so. Just slide up and it'll click into place. And there is Tasmania Kid back in his beast mode. So it's a nice little figure, I won't lie. I was going to get Magnetron. I'm waiting for it to come down to a more decent price because I think it's just too expensive, honestly. But as an Aussie and as someone who's now discovered something interesting and new, I actually don't mind Tasmania Kid. Beg my pardon. I might even see if I can find somewhere to actually watch Beast Wars 2, maybe even Beast Wars Neo. So there we go. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give me a thumbs down. I promise you it will not hurt my feelings. Subscribe or ring that bell. Leave me a comment. And apart from that, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.